So this last week we went to a family reunion with Scott's side of the family up in a mountain town named McCall. His sister has a cabin up there, and so we stayed there for a couple of days. The town of McCall was holding an ice festival that we've been wanting to go to for the last 5-6 years since we've moved here. And so one morning we went and looked around all the ice carvings around town at different businesses, and there were some super impressive sculptures, and we got to meet some of the ice carvers themselves. But I think my favorite one was outside Albertsons. It was this woman with a moon, and just looked super elegant and pretty.
What's your assessment on the ice sculptures?
They're really pretty.
Hey, you survived!
So in years past, we've had this family reunion around the same time, and it's actually been kind of stressful for me because I've been prepping for my favorite race, Ironman New Zealand. Generally, we've had it like 3 or 4 weeks out from the race, which is typically your biggest training weeks for an Ironman. But this year, I only had 2 hour-and-a-half rides and some PT work to do, so I was able to be part of the family activities a little bit more this year than in years past. So I've had a little bit of a setback in swimming this week 6. I started swimming about 2 weeks ago at the end of week 4, beginning of week 5, when my hernia doctor cleared me to be able to start swimming. Also told me to start doing heat and massage. So when I started massaging, I had pain and everything, and they said that's fine, just keep massaging. But I also started feeling like cording. Pretty much feels like guitar strings or like puppet strings holding me together. And so when I was swimming and I would reach up and do a pull, that would pull on those guitar strings and make them taut, and then that would pull on the incision. And so it caused pain on that incision just after continuous swimming, and I would stop, I would massage again, and then keep going, and if I still had pain, I would just stop or keep going if I felt fine again. And so it was a little concerning to me that I was having pain and didn't feel like it was progressing to get any better. I had 2 specific spots that I had guitar strings, and one on the outside was getting better, and the other one was just not getting any better. So I went to the doc this week. I dialed back my swimming because of all of that. I didn't want to, do any damage. And I went to the doc this week, and they said there's nothing to worry about. It's probably lymphatic cording, which I actually had after Kona when I had that infected elbow. And I had this guitar string cord all the way up to my armpit. And I also had the same problem with swimming, with it stretching out and not feeling good. But I knew that it was axillary cording, so I didn't worry about it. Versus this, I didn't know that you could get cording, like groin cording. So, but because they said no problems, I was like, great. If I have pain, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing damage. They said no. And so at the end of this week, week 6, I've done 2 actual swim workouts, which was a lot of fun. and just did some fast pull paddle stuff, and actually started hitting some 110s, pull paddle 110s for 200 pacing. But that's great because 2 weeks ago I was swimming like 130, 135s. The beginning of this week I was swimming like 120, 125s. And so I am loving the progress of 2 weeks and dropping 20 seconds off of my 100-yard time. So that's been a lot of fun. Last week it was super frustrating on the bike because I felt like I couldn't get above 150 watts, and that was when my heart rate was like at 150 beats per minute, which is still aerobic but pretty high for me. But that was week 5, and week 6 I feel like I've finally started seeing some progress. I did an hour-and-a-half ride this week at 177 watts and 142 beats per minute, which makes me feel like fitness is trending in the right direction, where sometimes you feel a little bit stuck. I just finished my ride of the 6th week, and I averaged 180 watts. I'm back, baby. Not really, but I started this week at 150 watts, and I'm at 180 6 days later, so it's awesome. That feels cool. So this is the fun part, seeing all the progress. My PT for week 5 and 6 has progressed. Week 3 and 4, I started doing heat and massage, and now I'm starting to do some groin stretches that Dr. Williams has on his website. So the first one that I did was just standing up straight, and you clench your bum cheeks, and that just helps stretch that front of your groin right there. So that's what I've started doing the first couple of days because it's been super, super tight from having 2 surgeries. The second stretch was a hip flexor stretch. You just kneel with the side you're trying to stretch down on the ground, and then just lean forward, and that just also helps stretch out that groin, hip flexor, adductor area, depending on how you move your hips around. The third stretch that has helped me out a lot is an adductor stretch. So you just put your leg out to the side, other leg bent, and just move your hips forward and back to really get that stretch in your adductors. So that's something that happens a lot with hernia surgeries, is those adductors actually become really tight to help stabilize everything in that hip region as well. And so doing that has helped a lot. For my hip labrum, I actually am released from any of my restrictions, so I don't have any adducting or hip flexion or anything restrictions on me anymore. So now it's all about getting that range of motion completely back and getting my hip rotators activated and working again. And so this week we added in, or these last 2 weeks, we've added in a lot of hip rotator exercises. So the first one, you actually bend, you're laying on your back, knees bent, and then you do hip circles. So you have your stretchy band around your knees, and then you do a circle out, around, and then back with your bad leg. The second exercise, you're laying on your stomach, and you have that resistance band around your feet, and then you let one foot fall out to the side and then back in, and the other leg push out to the side and then back in. And then I've been able to be a little bit experimental, I guess, and use some swim bands for some exercises that I generally have done at the gym with my PT. And this has helped with those hip rotators and doing a standing deadlift with no weight, just body weight, and has helped just really activate those hip rotators while doing another exercise. I've also been able to have some really fun conversations with my coach this week, which has been fun, just talking about the upcoming season and what the planning going forward will be. And so things are still up in the air, and I don't want to announce anything about my first race quite yet because I don't want to put any pressure on me, but that will be upcoming in some future video. And next week I actually go to California with a training buddy, Travis, and I'll bring you that content for our next video. So let me know if you want to see or hear of anything else that I'm doing. And I'm back on this road to recovery, and actually have training in my training plan online, which is super exciting and fun. So yeah, hit like and subscribe and let me know if you want anything else.